All right, I'm going to give you some helpful tips for successfully navigating today's attendance check-in assignment. When you click the link to go to the web page for the concept builder, this is what you're going to see. What you want to do is look for this little arrow right here. Clicking that will expand this proportional reasoning window. Once you click that, it's going to take you to a screen that looks like this, okay? So it gives you up here, it tells you what the objective is. So what is the point of doing these? You're not using this as a logged in student because we did not pay for access to this. We're using a free version. So you're going to log in as a guest. So you're just going to go down here and you're going to click start. You're not going to change the name or anything. You're just going to click start. When you click start, it's going to take you to this screen. So you have 3 different activities. You can do them in whatever order you want to. It doesn't matter. I'm going to show you what each of them looks like in a minute. So I'm going to start here with which 2 rows. I'm going to do that one first and click here where it says begin activity. When you click begin activity, it's going to take you to a screen that looks like this. Couple of things. Note that you can select all that apply. The first time I tried this, I didn't realize I could select multiple correct, and so I kept getting it wrong. And then I realized that's what I was looking for. Okay, the next thing you're going to want to look at is this little box here. It's going to tell you what you're looking for. So for this one, we're looking for, we're going to quadruple the value of x. Quadruple means we're going to multiply it by 4. And when we quadruple x, we need y to also quadruple. So we're going to go over here. I'm going to look at row A, and I have x as a value of 2, y is a value of 8. So I'm going to look at where x has been quadrupled or multiplied by 4. And I get 8 down here. So let me check and make sure that the y value followed the same pattern. And if I look here, it did. 32 is 8 times 4. So rows A and D match this relationship. So you're going to click the little button there. It'll turn red. Then you're going to look and make sure there aren't any more. So I can look here, 3. Well, 3 times 4 is 12. Actually, you know what? Let me change the color on those so you can see what I'm doing. All right, so 3 times 4 is 12. Well, when x is 3, y is 12. When x gets multiplied by 4 and becomes 12, does y get multiplied by 4 and become 48? Yes, it does. So rows B and E would also apply. There aren't anything else here because if I look at row C, I don't have a 24 down here or a y value here. So those are the answers you would pick. And then you would click on, and it looks like it didn't show up on here. There should be a button down at the bottom that says check answers. So look for the button at the bottom that says check answers. If you have a right answer, it'll say data way. If you have an incorrect answer, it's going to say oh drat, and it's going to make you redo a similar question. Okay? All right. The second activity in here... All right, the second activity is called predict the value. So that's the one I'm going to show you now as an example. For predict the value, it's going to be really important to pay attention to this dialog box at the top because it tells you they have a linear relationship and doubling the value of x causes the value of y to double. So I look here. So y doubles when x doubles. So if I wanted to write that relationship, I would write it like that. So if x goes from 2 to 4, what does y do? Well, y is 6 times 2 now because that's what I did up here to get over here. So it's going to be 12. If you're using an iPad or a phone, you're going to need to click on this little number box. If you are using a computer, you can use the number keys on your computer. You're going to click this number box, and you're going to get something that looks like this. It's going to pop this number pad up. You're going to type in your number. This was a different problem up here, so it didn't have the same answer. you're going to type 12 because that was the answer for the last one. Ignore this up here. And then you can hit tap to close down here at the bottom. Once you close it, you'll see this check answer box. You'll click on that and it'll tell you if you have it right or wrong. Okay, so that's the second type. When you get a correct answer, this is the message you're going to see. This is a good thing. That's what you want to see. It will also tell you have answered it correctly. You can hit the continue button once you get it done correctly. Once you have completely finished one of the concept builders, you're going to see a predict the value completed. You're going to have a trophy. Okay. You need to get a trophy for all three and then submit your scrap. All right, quick run through of the last kind. The last kind says to extrapolate. Again, you're going to click begin activity. It's going to take you to that concept. Couldn't remember what I wanted to say there. Okay, so here's your concept builder for the last type. One quick thing I want to tell you is when you get one correct, it's not doing them in order. It's randomizing things. Your number one is not going to be the same as your neighbor's number one. When you get one correct, you're going to see a star around that number. If you get one wrong, it's going to turn red. And then you're going to have to do a similar problem to get it to turn to yellow. And then you're going to have to do another problem and get it right in order to get the star. Okay, just a quick note on that. All right, you got to do 3 things on this one. So observe the data at the right. What type of relationship describes this data? You're going to have 3 types to choose from. They are going to be linear. Okay, so linear is when whatever I do to one, the same thing happens to the other one. You're going to have quadratic. So in a quadratic, it means if I increase 1 by 2 and the other one would increase by 2 squared, or it would increase by 4, okay? So that's what it means by quadratic. The last one is inverse. The inverse one is probably the easiest one to find because in an inverse relationship, as one gets bigger, the other one gets smaller, okay? So let's look at what our data is here. So look at the x values. So to go from the 2 to 4, it doubles. I'm going to look at y. Did y double? Yes, it did, but check more than 1. If I go from 4 to 8, that's where it doubles again, did I go from 12 to 24? Yes, I did. So this one is going to be a linear relationship because whatever happens to x is the same thing that happens to y. Now, you're going to complete this statement. Tripling the value of x will cause the value of y to do what? Well, if it's linear, if I triple x, y also has to triple. If I quadruple x, y also has to quadruple, okay? That's what a linear relationship is. So you're going to tap to select. You're going to keep tapping this until it to whatever you're looking for, okay? So tripling the value of x causes the value of y to triple. So you would click this until you saw the word triple show up. Then it says down here, what would the value of y be if x is 18? Okay, so, well, to get to 18, I would triple x from this line. Let me change my color. So if I was to come down here to 18, that is multiplying x times 3 to get 18. Well, that means I have to do the exact same thing to y. So I have to multiply that by 3. So y becomes 54. Again, if you're using an iPad or your phone, you can click on this little keypad here. The numbers will pop up and you type in your 54 and then you check your answer. Okay? And it'll tell you if you have it right or wrong. All right, couple quick notes. So I said for linear, if it's linear, whatever you do to x, the same thing happens to y. Okay, so the change in x and y are the same. So you double x, you double y. We also call these direct or proportional. All right, I mentioned inverse. Inverse is the easy one. So if 1 increases, I should have put if here. If one variable increases, the other variable decreases. So let's say I double x, then y would cut in half, okay? If I tripled x, then y would be cut in 3, something like that. That tells you it's an inverse relationship. All right, last but not least is the quadratic. In a quadratic, so a quadratic relationship, they're both going to increase, but one is going to increase by the square of the factor that the other one increases by. So if one variable increases, the other increases by that factor squared. So for example, if I double x, then y would go up by 4 because 4 is 2 squared. Okay? If I triple x, 9, y would go up by 9 because that's 3 squared. If I quadrupled x, y would go up by 16 because 16 is 4 squared. Okay, so we would write this as x is proportional. All right, I hope this helps. If you still have some questions, let me know, and I'd be glad to help you out. Good luck.